Hey, it's Dougie from Valto, and I'm going to be showing you my top 5 Microsoft 365 apps that you can get with an E3 license. So whether it's you're looking to boost engagement or use tools for more productivity, we're going to be looking at my top 5 apps that potentially you don't even know exist yet. So the first one is Microsoft Bookings. Now this is a fantastic way to book out somebody's time without having that kind of backwards and forwards emailing to figure out a time between you. So at Valto, we actually use this in a number of ways ourselves. We use it for giving a link to our customers to say, hey, book some time with us. So they might contact us and say, I'd like to talk to you about Power Apps. And what we can do is we can send them a link like this. And actually what it will do is it will pull together the calendars of all of our sales team that specialize in Power Apps. And essentially it'll show a date and time that they'll be available. So say, for example, I'm a customer. Rather than me contacting Valto and saying, hey, I want to talk about Power Apps, when are you next available? And then we have to go backwards and forwards loads of emails to say, are you available on Tuesday? No, I can't do Tuesday. Can you do Wednesday? No, I can't do Wednesday. Instead, we can give them a link. They can say, actually, I want a meeting on Thursday and I want the meeting to be at 11 o'clock. And there we go. All we need to then do is fill out our first name, email, phone number, any additional kind of requests and things like that, and then click on book. And essentially that will then put a marker into the calendar of whoever from Valto has that available slot. It's calculated by looking at one or multiple people's calendars through their working hours, so to say 9 till 5. You can also program in things like breaks and lunch times and things like that, and any additional meetings which go into that person's calendar will automatically be removed from these date and time slots. So you're only booking in time that that person actually has available inside of their calendar. My next favorite app that you get with an E3 license is Viva Engage. Now this was once referred to as Yammer, so if you've heard of that name before, you will have heard of Viva Engage. Essentially think of Viva Engage like the social media of your Microsoft 365. Everyone has their own profile page where they have a kind of what they call storyline, which is almost like a Facebook feed where they can post discussions, questions, praise other colleagues, put in surveys and polls, or an article that they thought was interesting. Then other people can like that, comment on it, reply to it. If it's a question, the cool thing about that as well is that you can have what they call upvoting, which is basically where you can post a question and then you can either mark it as a best answer once you've found it, or you can choose to upvote it, which then pushes it further up the kind of question, so it's easier for people to find. The other cool thing about Viva Engage is it also promotes communities. So typically you would have two different types of communities. You have kind of official communities from the organization and unofficial communities. Official communities are typically things like where you've got an adoption plan in place. And these are our super users that are getting together to talk about a new product like Viva Adoption, Viva Engage or Copilot. Or it might be something which is an unofficial community, so something like the golf team, and then the guys in there are posting pictures of social events they're going to, booking in kind of when they're playing golf next, and posting kind of pictures and things like that. And generally just kind of staying part of a active community within inside of their organization, which is really useful, especially when people are hybrid working or working from home and they want to kind of stay part of something. Now, these communities, as I say, could be about anything. I've seen ones for book clubs, running clubs, all sorts of things, which are unofficial style communities. And then you also have the official communities, which is essentially things like an all staff. Maybe it's about a new campaign that's being launched. Essentially, an official community will always have this kind of tick next to it, like we sometimes see on things like Instagram or Twitter, which shows that it's actually an official community from the organization. The benefits of that is that when people see information inside of an official community, they know it's kind of gospel, they know it's true, and they know it's coming from the actual organization. Whereas if you were to see something at the golf team, it's not an official community, so it is just essentially a collection of employees talking. I just wanted to pause here for a second to let you know that Valto offer a free license audit. So if you're looking at moving to E3 licenses, or you're looking at how you can save money on your Microsoft 365 licenses, then Valto offer a free audit where we will look at all of your licenses and determine which licenses potentially that you'll need, how you can get the best price for those, and we'll do everything we can do to get you the best deal possible on your license agreement. An example of this is that Microsoft are due to put their licenses up in early 2025, the cost of these licenses. However, we're working with customers and new customers to determine the best way that we can lock in their license costs at a much lower discounted rate now before they go up early in 2025. So if you're due to renew your licenses before March of 2025, then give us a call for a free audit and we can get that sorted out. There's a link in the description below to book your free consultation. My next favorite product is called Stream. Now think of Stream a bit like an internal YouTube for your Microsoft 365. So this is essentially what it would look like. Now this is just a test area. It's got loads of different kind of test videos that have been uploaded into it. But essentially all the recordings for your Microsoft Teams meetings would end up in here. You can also choose to upload your own videos in here. You can choose to record your screen, so any screen recordings. Camera recordings, so if you wanted to record your own kind of demonstrational or learning or training videos, you can also do that via Stream. So you can record that and create a video project, which is essentially a way that you can manipulate the video afterwards. And then you can create playlists. So just like in YouTube, how we would typically have things like a playlist of SharePoint videos or a playlist of Power Apps videos, you can also create your own videos in your own playlist of videos inside of Stream. Now, this is really useful for a number of different factors. You might choose to have, for example, videos which are being uploaded for onboarders. So as a new starter is getting onboarded, there might be a series of videos you want them to watch in a sequence. You can put that into a playlist to have them watch it. Other playlists we've seen things like CEO updates or updates from the board. So a monthly video from the CEO, which gives a bit of an update about what the organization's up to, their priorities, their challenges, their wins, and things like that. It also could be a playlist of training videos. So again, from an L&D perspective, you could have people sit down and watch a series of videos. And this is all hosted inside of Stream, which is a product inside of Microsoft 365 that's accessible to you with your E3 license. So the next app is my favorite productivity boosting app, which is referred to as Planner. This really helps map out a particular project using an agile methodology, using it like a Kanban board to have a drag and drop style of what we call buckets of tasks. This is very much like Trello. If you've ever used this before, it's going to be an identical look and feel. Planner is a collection of plans, and plans are associated to either an individual or a group or team of people. Now, this is just an example Christmas party plan, and you can see by default, I just have a to-do bucket, but I can add multiple buckets. So say, for example, if there was different stages of my tasks, so maybe they're pending, they're complete, I can easily add new buckets. I can choose to remove them really simply like this, or more than likely with buckets, you might want to categorize them into what type of tasks they are. So say, for example, for a Christmas party, I'm likely going to be booking entertainment. I'm likely going to be booking catering, food, maybe music, lighting, things like that. And then I can easily add a task by clicking on the add task under each of these different buckets. So say, for example, with music, I might want to find a band as a task. I'm going to set a due date. I'm going to say I need to do that by the end of this week. I'm going to assign a particular person who's going to complete this task and then click on add task. And that will then add the task whilst notifying the person it's assigned to. By clicking into it, you can see we have a much more detailed form where we can either color code things or we can choose to, say, change the bucket that the task is in, mark it as in progress or complete, even change the priority ordering as well to say it's important, when are we going to start the task, even make a repeating task or add any notes to help sort of guide that particular task further. We've also got subtasks, so it might be that we need to get approval from someone first. We can add attachments like documents or links to videos of the band on YouTube. It might be that we can add some comments. You could say, I have found a band. What do you think? Then click on send. And again, all of this is stored as a little feed against the task. We can view the task in a number of ways. This is just a default, which is a view as a board of buckets. We could look at it in a grid like a list view. We could also look at it as a schedule, like a calendar view. Once we know a start and end date, we can see all of our tasks in a calendar view. We also have charts, so we can see the amount of tasks by status, the bucket of tasks it's in, the priority, as well as who has what amount of tasks. So easily you could see, for example, that Jade's got way more tasks than everyone else in the team, and we could choose to balance that out to make it a bit more fair. We can also change the views of the board. So for example, I could apply some filters. So I only wanted to see certain tasks which are urgent. I could also choose to look at tasks by who they're assigned to, the progress of them, the due dates, any coloured labels, or the priority order as well. So there's multiple ways that we can kind of rejiggle this to kind of see the information that we need to at a quick glance. But it's really simplistic, it's really easy to use, but it's highly effective if you want to have more productive project management. And then my final app inside of the E3 license, which I think is really useful, is Copilot. Now, don't get this confused with, so this I'm talking about is Microsoft Copilot, but you also have Microsoft 365 Copilot, or Copilot for Microsoft 365 that it's sometimes referred to. Now, Copilot for Microsoft 365 is an additional license, and that's what you would need if you're wanting to interact and create specific documents using, PowerPoint, Word, or Excel. What I'm referring to is just called Microsoft Copilot. It's essentially a direct competitor for ChatGPT, and it's fantastic for doing things like creating ideas, writing blog articles, or even being creative and giving you imagery and things like that. So I could ask it, say, please create an image of a man skiing down a snowy mountain towards a village full of other people. And then once I've done that, I click on enter, and this will then create me using AI a whole bunch of images, so 4 images which are based on that particular prompt. This is a fantastic way of creating images if you don't have a graphic designer. Maybe you're trying to create things like YouTube thumbnails or kind of imagery for social posts and things like that. It's a fantastic way of doing that. So now you can see it's created me a whole series of images which are really good, showing a man skiing down a hill. There's a couple of different types of themes to this, but I would probably go with this one. I think is probably the best look and feel for my particular use case. But as you can see, it's really easy and simple to use to actually create new content using Copilot. The benefit of using Copilot or what was referred to as Microsoft Copilot instead of ChatGPT with your Microsoft E3 license is the fact that you can see that this is secured. I am logged in and the enterprise data protection has applied this all to Copilot and the information that I'm using in here. Whereas if I was using ChatGPT, all that information is actually then being sent off to a third-party company. It's all stored externally, and we're not looking after that same data. Copilot is never trained on the user's prompts and models and data that is given, whereas ChatGPT is. So for a much more secure, safe, and compliant use of generative AI, you can use Microsoft Copilot with your E3 license. But just to be clear, if you want to interact it with things like PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and using it on your files, you will need an additional license, which is the Copilot for Microsoft 365 license. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe for more content. If you have any questions or you would like some professional services regarding any of the products you've seen in this video, or you would like to book your free license audit, there's a link in the description to contact us.